America, this is Mark A back in effect. Mark A stay in effect. Mark A will always be in effect.
Life is a bus, so the service a must. They make you turn up your phone before you get off the bus and make you wanna go home, dog. There's nowhere to run, so you must sleep through day zero to get to day one.
What's up, America? This is Mark A back in effect. Stay in effect and always will be in effect. Hey, I told you the Apex 07 show is gonna be giving it to you in all different angles, shapes, and forms. Okay. Hey, I'm in a Zoom-in meeting with one of my partners and a family member, like I said, a teammate and a family member, Timothy Hargrove. You know, Timothy Hargrove and myself, we deployed together in 2006 to operate in Iraq, doing convoy security and logistic patrols. You know, great guy. You know what I mean? Great guy. Retired. You know, out of the United States Army. About how long ago, Hargrove?
I retired 4 October 2020.
4 October 2020. You know, and Hargrove, it's a pleasure to basically speak to you. You know what I mean? I know we talk on the phone from time to time, and you know, I just want to let the world know, like, that they're not alone. You know, that they're not alone, and we're gonna go through, you know, just sitting out, chopping up, drinking some coffee, like I normally do. You know, and just sitting there chopping it up, man, because I strongly believe that America, but soldiers that are in right now and soldiers that are transitioning out, you know what I mean? They need to hear these kind of conversations. You know, that I think they really need to hear these conversations that we're bringing across to the platform. You know, so Hargrove, thank you for again allowing me to sit down and speak to you and sharing with the world like our thoughts or your thoughts. You know, in the world how it is today. But one question is, why did you join the United States Army?
When I joined, it was for me to get away from where I grew up at. Small town, wasn't much there to, I guess, be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So when I joined September the 5th, 1995. And I done 6 years, and I thought I was done with it. Wanted to get out. Went back home, still nothing there. Then 8 months later, I found myself right back in the recruiter station.
It's funny, bro. It's funny. I say that. I came in 1990, and you know, I got out in '94, and you know, for 6 years I was trying to figure it out, right? And I came back in, so that's why I laughed when you said that. So when you came back in, what year you said you came back in again?
2002.
2002. Now, why did you rejoin?
I just met my wife, and we had a son on the way, and I, for some reason, couldn't hold a civilian job.
Mm-hmm.
I then got so used to the structure that it was hard for me to hold a civilian job.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't support my son. I can't support her if I can't hold a job. Let me go back to what I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Because, you know, every day you wake up, you're getting that same routine, you know, PT, work call, yada, yada, yada. You know basically what your schedule is by the time you get home the night before to the time you get up the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the type of person that has to have structure in my life. If I don't have some kind of structure, I start veering off to the wrong side, and then somebody's got to come up and snatch me back and go, "Hey, you need to get back over here. You're going the wrong direction."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But essentially, I went back to be able to provide for my family and my new family, and then I just stayed. I figured that was my calling. You know, go back a second time, and then I've often laughed with her about how many times I rose my hand for oath of enlistment.
Yeah.
You know the same thing. How many times we rose our hands, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think it was in 2012 when I rose my hand for the last time, and they said I was in depth. I said, man, that's 8 more to go, bro. Wee. You know what I mean?
That's funny you say that, because 2012, I rose my hand when my last time for going indefinite in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
It was just like, wow.
Well, at least I got a job for the next 8 years, right?
Exactly, you know.
But would you say, like, okay, when you came back in the second time, you was a little bit more mature. You kind of knew what to expect. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, what about, like, say for instance, one of them, I know that you went. One of the main reasons was because you was just about to have your baby boy, and then with Jenny and everything else. But like, do you think like you was a little bit more mature, or did you like miss certain things that the commodity or certain things that you had, like you said, structure, but was it more to that? Like, because I know you came back in the second time and your career just took off.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I was a little bit more mature. Still not really where I needed to be. You
Mhm.
know, after I look back on days, but yeah, I was a little bit more mature. I'd done seen 6 years worth. I knew about what the structure was going to be. Um, you know, and like I said, means of taking care of my family. There's no way I wanted something like that to happen. That I couldn't take care of them. You
Mhm.
know, and and then you start worrying about when you can't hold a civilian job. You start worried about how you gonna pay bills, how you gonna pay electricity, how you gonna pay water.
Mhm.
And when I was younger and in the barracks, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
didn't think about. I didn't care what kind of car I had because, well, that was the only payment I had back then.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, now fast forward to today, you got guys that's got 6, 7, 9, what, $1,500, $1,300 cell phones with a $200 a month cell phone payment.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's what I say. I kind of matured a lot. It is because if you had a cell phone back then, everybody thought you were rich.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just like sending someone out to your aiming pole guy. You know, hey man, I need you to bump left, bump right, because
Uh,
he's so far out he can't hear you.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Now, as far as like, within your career for the second portion, right? Like, was there like any type of like mentors that helped you come along to walk out the door with that flag and saying that you officially retired? Like, is any type of mentors? Because I go back in most of my things, well, actually all my things, I always say that you gotta have somebody that's gonna help you because you can't do nothing alone. You know what I mean? You gotta have some sort of help. You know what I mean? And it takes a team. Name a few of your mentors that that helped you guide through your in your career.
Well, I figured this one was going to come out. It's kind of funny too. Was discussing this with Jen the other night. Believe it or not, uh, was talking about when you were my section chief, and I was trying to become a section chief, and you and first one at the time had kind of gotten a disagreement because because he wanted to move me to another section to be a gunner still, and you wasn't gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
You know, if I wasn't gonna get my own gun, you wasn't gonna let me go no damn where.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I remember in formation that afternoon, and we were to fall in, and I could see something was going on, but it wasn't none of a soldier's business. That's NCO business.
Yeah.
That's the way I was. This is like, what's going on? And then after formation, you told me what was going on. I was just like, okay. It didn't mentally hit me what was going on until finally at night, talking to my wife, and it's like, oh shit. He thinks I'm ready for my own gun,
Yeah.
not just to go be a gunner somewhere. You know, I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow. So of course, you were one of the biggest ones to kick me off on my career becoming a section chief for my amount of time and things of that nature. You know, it was Staff Sergeant Ellis, and then Smoke Ellis, and then Smoke Reed. And then you think about, I think about First Sergeant Short. And then
And O'Neilly.
Oh God.
That's my man too, bro.
Me and him run in to each other after Fort Sill. That stint at Fort Sill, we run into each other 3 more times overseas, being stationed somewhere.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's so funny because the last time I was down in Kuwait, and I found out he was there. So as 2 of the staff sergeants,
Hey. Hey, get your motherfucking ass over here.
oh man. And I tell him, hey, I'm going to Airfjot. I'm gonna go see a buddy of mine. So
Yeah.
we go down there, and I'm in civilian clothes. And at this time, he's sergeant major. We walk out back. We're sitting down talking, and it's so funny. Is these guys looked at me a little bit later. He goes, "Hey, he's a sergeant major." I was like, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "Well, how do you know him?" I said, "That dude used to change the diapers on my kids, man.
Yeah.
This dude right here, I hate." And I told him straight up, I said, "I hated this dude as my damn gunnery sergeant and my platoon sergeant." They're like, "Well, why'd you hate him for that?" If he seen potential in you, he brought it out of you.
He gonna push it. Yeah.
As you know, yourself, him, man, there's so many of them back then. Doucette, you know, if they seen potential in you, they would make that come out. You didn't have a choice. You know, it wasn't, hey, can I take a 2-hour break and go home? This and that. No, not until you get this right. This is your job.
Yep.
This is what you get paid for.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. And, you know, and would you say that's like a difference between, you know, you retired a few years ago, but like when you was coming out your latter part of your career, did you see was any type of changes like that? Like, you know, as you was like transitioning out, like as far as like, you know, like back in 2006 within that one battery, which I think was like to me the greatest battery I was involved in, man, because that battery was like it was no L's. It was no L's. It was not no L's. It was like, yo, you're winning, we're winning. I don't care. We're gonna prep. I'm, you know, and everybody in that battery, to be honest with you, man, all the staff sergeants that followed within 2 years, they were Sergeant First Classes.
Yes.
All the Sergeant First Classes at that point in time, within a year or two, they were all first sergeants, like master sergeants. And like then it dwindled down, you know, they went off in different careers. But I think just about I think 4 or 5 out of those 4 or 5, because we had that big platoon in Iraq, like that big battery. I think it was 130 some people in that battery when we deployed. Remember, because it was first platoon, second platoon, third platoon,
then the headquarters element.
Headquarters element. So out of those, I think it was 5 Sergeant First Classes.
Yeah.
Right. And all 7 Sergeant First Classes because we had truck masters. Right.
Right.
That's right. And then out of the 5 out of the 7 guys made first sergeant, and then I think 4 out of that 7 made sergeant major.
Yeah.
But every single one I talked to it started from that one particular battery 117. You know what I mean? You know, first on Claude Short, retired sergeant major. You know, I was just talking about him, just like me and Ellis was talking about him the other day. You know what I mean? It's just like the dude, he just brought everything out of you. Like, but he allowed you to grow.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But he allowed you to make mistakes, but then he gonna nip you in the behind, like so tenderly, like it's unbelievable, right? But like from that battery, and as time went on, and like your last say 2 years, did you see the change the soldiers or the leadership and if you do, was it in a positive direction or was it, in your opinion, in a negative direction? And why?
I seen a lot of stuff it had changed over the years, and that's one of the reasons. You know, I was medically retired, but that was one of the many reasons now that I'm glad I got out when I did.
Mm-hmm.
Is how do you put that? It was almost like you had to conform to that soldier schedule for training. You know, even up it went as high as battalion level. Hey, no training on no appointments on Monday, and no appointments during service time training. You only get it one day a week. No appointments during that.
I remember that.
Yet you set an appointment and you can't do nothing about it. But then when it comes time for you to put in your recommendation when they go into promotion board or whatever, when you say no, oh, they want to go cry in the first sergeant saying you got something against them. It's like, yeah, I do have something against you. These guys over here are busting their butts while you're off somewhere else. You know, they're studying, they're doing study halls, this, that, and the other. You're doing something else, but yet you want to go tell the chain of command, I'm coming after you personally.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what really got me the most is that right there. If you said something or you acted in a way they didn't like, they went to the chain of command. And even as an NCO, I had to fight my way out of the hole, the foxhole, with top because I hurt the soldiers' feelings.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't every soldier. I had quite a few of them way.
Yeah.
I also had a lot of good soldiers. So it's
now you said a particular thing about like work schedule, like I remember Monday mornings, you know, the sergeant major or first sergeant body gate, you could not leave that motor pool. You had to on your equipment and until that equipment is fixed. Like it was like less than 24 hours that gun had to be up or that equipment had to be up or so, right? Remember FCAT, like, you know, when we had the maintenance on the Paladin, like we would stay there all hours of the night to get that done, right? And then on sergeant time training, you know, that was like on Thursdays, and your section chief or your squad leader would basically teach you soldier skills, right? Now, the thing is, we had to go to the boards and all that type of stuff too, but it was like, okay, you're gonna burn the midnight oil, so you're gonna be that's after work. You know what I mean? That's not during work doing your job. That's after work. And 90% of the people was like, man, I'm going home. I'm exhausted because of all the knowledge and all the training that they were going through, or maintenance or whatever it may be. That the ones that was like, I called it the 2%ers, like, you know, would stay after work, study or have study halls for about 2 hours a night, 2-3 hours a night, because they wanted it. You know what I mean? That's when you could tell the difference between, I won't say a substandard soldier, but a soldier that wanted something. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
A soldier that and that's the ones you like. Okay, we gonna push this guy. You know what I mean? We gonna not push him to the cliff. We'll push him to the cliff, but pull him back. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know. So you said a few names. Now, was there anything like as far as like that you could put out to say the soldiers that are in today, like what is your recommendation for them to be successful, and also something that would like say a significant event that you was at a low point in your career that you overcame?
If I had something to say to these guys, girls now, you know, if it's in your mind that you're not going to stay till retirement, or if you're going to stay till retirement, I would say no matter if you got 1 year in or 19 years in, start setting aside money, start setting aside for emergencies. You know, you never know, you might meet somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with, your significant other. Start preparing for that now, even at 19. I didn't do it at 19. And start doing it, honest to God, on myself especially. Mentally prepare yourself for when that day comes. Because you hear soldiers a lot. Oh, I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to do that. But if you walk up to them and go, hey, what's your game plan when you get out? Well, I don't know. You might want to start thinking about that, because it got me straight in the face. I had just came out from doing a massive surgery to my lower back, and I'd already gotten to the point as my wife said, I was drinking to destroy myself, damn near every night. And August the 10th, 2019, I wanted to get into my gun cabinet and kill myself.
Mm.
I'd gotten tired of the person I'd become. And the cops showed up, stuff like that. We sat out front, talked, and I was drinking. And I've always told everybody you couldn't push me that low. I was too strong of a person to get me that low down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got that low down that night. We're sitting out in my front yard. I'm talking to the cops. There's several of them there. And one of the cops asked me, said, "Hey, dude, if you go and seek help, I'll be right there with you." And, he hit me like, yeah, right. He's just going to drop me off. They're going to put me in the hospital, and I'll be back in a few days. No, he actually was there with me every step of the way.
Wow.
And I stayed 8 days in the hospital. He came to see me every day, see how I was doing. And since then, I had to mature a whole lot and get ready, because paperwork was already starting, working and everything for medical retirement because of physical disabilities. And I wasn't ready for it. Honest to God. Financial wise, we were ready. Mentally, I was not a bit.
Mm.
When my last day in, I didn't want a ceremony. So my last day in, the guy's reading me all my DD 214 stuff. And he looks at me and goes, "Well, Mr. Hargrove, how does it feel to be retired?" I had tears in my eyes. I hadn't planned for the future. I had no idea what I was going to do tomorrow. In my mind, I was getting up. I was still going to get up in the morning and go do PT.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things is I wasn't mentally ready, and I stressed myself out. And then I caused all kinds of stress with my family. I almost tore my family apart. It took a real big strain on us. I didn't stay here for several days just because of the stress that I put on the family.
Mm.
And then I started opening up. Don't be scared to go, seeking help. I still seek help. I still talk to counselors and everything, weekly basis. I've learned to open up to Jen, open up to my kids. I think it was your show which you talked about lost time. We can't go back and get that time back, no matter how hard we try. We can't go get it back. So now I'm just taking every moment I can. Every moment that God gives me to spend with my wife, my kids, I'm going to take advantage of it. Yeah. Because I feel in a way, and I don't want people to think this, because guilt and shame doesn't solve any problems. But in a way, personally, I feel guilt and shame after all of these years. She followed me for 22 years. Yeah. She went to every base I went to, packing, unpacking, getting the kids ready, getting the kids for school, this, that, and the other.
FRG. I remember that FRG. Yeah.
FRG, man.
Yep. And I remember she used to do study sessions for guys that soldiers that was in school and stuff like that, doing tutoring. Yes, I remember that, man. I remember that.
She actually, when I was recruiting, she got signed off by USAREC, and she would tutor students to get ready to take the ASFAB when I was trying to get recruited. Wow. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember her. Oh man, I remember old Jenny, man.
And she's only been back to work since Monday. It's just now Thursday. I've only cooked dinner for 4 days. I'm just like, my God, how'd you do it? You know, where's my uniform, man? I'll go back over and see you somewhere, man.
Yeah.
Dang.
You know,
I'm
so
trying to make a bowl of mashed potatoes, help a kid with homework, but stuff I ain't never even heard of before.
oh my gosh, trust me, I know that. Woo. Yeah, you gotta
But
Google
yeah,
it, man.
man,
You
the
gotta
biggest
Google it
thing.
now. You know, Google
Oh yeah.
it. Yeah.
But the biggest thing, man, is I would stress for them to get themselves mentally ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you never know when that day's going to be.
Yeah.
That you have an accident, say you break a foot, but you break it in a way it doesn't recover right.
Yeah.
You got to be mentally ready. You know.
Yeah. You know, and that's something that I brought I went through too in 2013 or 12, and I got injured in Afghanistan. You know, and I tore my Achilles and I got medevac back. You know, and remember the Army was starting to downsize around that time. So guys were getting QMP, QSP, and everything else. And I'm like, oh my God, man, I can't even run. Like you know what I mean? I can't run. So I pushed myself because I was like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know what else to do. And I pushed myself going through physical therapy and everything. And I think about a year later, there was a brigade senior PT test. And I did the PT test and pop goes the whistle again, tore it again. And I said, Lord, man. So here it is. I'm like, man, I'm done. Like I'm getting, I got scared. I did. I remember that. I remember I got scared, man. You know, but, God is good. You know, he kept me in, and, I finished off my career. So I understand where you're coming from with that, man. I always say there's three phases when you retire. First, you get your orders. You're excited. Like it's a brand new thing. I'm free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The second stage is like, I do my little ceremony. I'm on terminal leave, but I could get called back. Because a urinalysis test, or if you get in trouble with the law or something, you got to answer. You go back to the military. But the third stage, I mean, you're still trying to understand. You're adjusting, but you're not really too much understanding yet because you're still in it. But that third stage, the last day that you're in the Army and you wake up the next morning, you're Mr. Reed or Mr. Mark or Mr. Hargrove. Like, holy shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not even a part of nothing no more. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's when you're trying to adjust and understand like what's next. You know what I mean? What is next? But you got to prepare yourself. You're right. But the thing is, you hit the nail on the head right there. All the times that you sacrifice being away from your family, now it's time to give back to them.
Yeah.
Because where's all those soldiers now? Where's all those mentors now? You know what I mean? They're gone. It's just you and your family. You walk away with your family, man. So you're relevant to them, man. And don't forget that. You know what I mean? You're relevant to me because throughout little that you know it or not, but you've helped me throughout my career. You know what I mean? You're a part of my village. You know what I mean? Just watching your work ethic, and I'm like, man, this dude don't stop. Like, and he could fix this dude could fix anything. He'll break the motherfucker, but then fix it right after, right? He'll fix that bad boy, right? He's learning, right? And I'm sitting there like, man, this dude's breaking my shit. Fuck, let him go. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I knew it was going to get fixed, right? Because I knew you was not leaving until that thing is fixed, right? So, that's the thing, the work ethic, man. And it helped me go along a long way because of the work ethic. You know what I mean? The work ethics and the dedication, man. The dedication and the work ethics, man. It was just phenomenal. So I always say that you need people. Like you can't do nothing alone. You can't accomplish anything in life alone. When you was a baby, I said this the other day in my last video. When you was a child, you did not get up in one day and just wipe your own behind. You know what I mean? Or piss drunk, right? Your father and your mother or your uncles, aunts potty trained you, and it was a repetitious type of repetition after repetition for you to understand it, right? Just like if you're training a dog, he urinates one place and you go there and stick his nose or whatever you do, but that dog is not gonna urinate in that's the spots anymore at home. You take him outside 2 hours, an hour, whatever, and he comes back in. And so you need somebody or you need people, you know. But the thing is, when you're in, you have all those people because
Yes.
together.
Yes.
But when you come out, all you have is your
Okay.
family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's those people now? You know what I mean? Your circle is just thinning, and it's like, man, like what, like let me call first on. Like, no, man, first on's working, or you soldier. Let me see what's he doing. Oh, he's working. Hey, I'm sorry, son, I'm working. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so you don't have nothing. But you do what you do because you have other veterans out there that will
Yes.
feel the exact same way how you're feeling. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And moving on. You do. So, I'm number one, I'm proud of you because you successfully retired. Okay. I'm proud of you that you seeked help. You know what I mean? And
right.
you're looking a whole lot better now than you looked about a couple of months ago when I saw you. You know what I mean?
I
And
do.
yeah, you know what I mean? You look happier now, you look more relaxed, you know what I mean? And I'm proud of you for seeking that help. I'm proud of you. And you know as well as I do, don't be proud not to
Yeah.
say something. You know what I mean? Don't take your pride and not say nothing. And then, you get in that your mind and start, wiggling around and be like, yo, I'm done. No. Because you are relevant. That's why I come up with that thing, Mark A back in effect, stay in effect, and always will be in effect. Because regardless if I'm in the army or I'm out, I'm coming back into effect because I'm coming back into society.
Right.
I'm staying in effect because I have a family and close knit friends, and
Mhm.
not only my family that I grew up with, but I created my own family. My villages. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
And I'm always going to be in effect because I'm always going to be relevant. I'm always going to be relevant, but the number one I'm be relevant to is my family.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? And that's what you just think that way, man. Now, Hargrove, is it anything what kind of like advice would you give to soldiers uh coming in, soldiers that are in, and soldiers that are transitioning out? What are the advices that you would give those in those three ways?
Uh, Going in, coming out.
Going in first, then the soldiers that are in, like say junior non-commissioned officers, okay,
Okay.
or officers, and then the ones that are transitioning. You said the ones about transitioning because you got to have a plan,
Yeah.
prepare yourself. What about the soldiers just getting ready to come in?
I would ask you out a lot. I was a recruiter for 3 years, and
Mhm. As I was too.
and you know what kind of label we were. So,
Yeah.
but and I would have fun with that. I listen to people talk about, oh, you do this, you do this. Like, really? But my first thing to see somebody think about coming in, or they just got to the unit as a new guy, new girl, so I would ask, hey, why'd you join? And you would hear your typical, well, my mom, my dad, my brother, or well, I came from a small town, or this, that, and the other. And then you look at them, and they look back and ask you, why are you still looking at me over this? I answered the questions. There's something underneath you're not going to tell.
Yeah.
And it always is.
Yeah.
Before I became a recruiter, I wouldn't have believed it.
Mm-hmm.
But being a recruiter, I'm like, yeah, got you, guy. You're not telling me the whole story here. You know, but those coming in and think about coming in, sit down with yourself and do a pros and cons worksheet.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I think I know it was back at 117. I think it was First Sergeant Short that gave us the leader's book that in the back few pages, I still have it.
Yeah.
Back few pages, it says a soldier's always got a story to tell
Yeah.
in that book. And I've used that ever since. In every leader's book I had to use,
Yeah.
you know. And I started basing talking to people wanting to come in or already in off that every soldier has a story to tell. What is your story?
Yeah.
You know, that way I knew about what they wanted, what they needed, what really best fit them, you know, other than the stigma that recruiters got.
Yeah.
But you can figure out what was best to fit them, you know, whether they're single, married, got kids, or kids on the way, this, that, and the third. And then if you're as a junior non-commissioned officer, I would say my advice would be find the number one senior NCO that affects you the most and stay in his cargo pocket or cargo pocket. Stay there. You know, don't be afraid because I know when times get tough, things are going fast. You get top saying something, one platoon starts saying something, another platoon leader saying something. You got stuff coming from all angles, and you want to ask questions as a junior non-commissioned officer, but you're afraid to because you're afraid senior smoke will get mad at you or something.
Yeah.
You got to take those feelings and wipe them off your sleeve. Don't be scared to ask. Don't be scared to ask to learn. And respect to that, it was so funny as it was in Iraq in 2005, 6 when we was there together.
Uh-huh.
He had first on short about not sending me to the E6 board.
Yeah.
I thought I was ready. Well, I was mad, you know. He just kept telling me, you ain't ready for it. You ain't ready for it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't tell me why. Well, finally the day come, I go to the board, I make it. I don't forget what the instance was. It wasn't nothing major, but we had to go to Top's office, and you were standing there, and I fell to your left, and he's like, "No, you get in front of him. You're the section chief now.
Yeah.
You know, he's not. You are."
Yeah.
And then he asked the soldier. I seen the grin on his face. And he told the soldier to step outside. He goes, "Yeah, it's a little different now that you're on the right side of the individual instead of the left.
Yeah.
You don't have nobody there to what's going on." Yeah.
Yep. You stand on your own 2 feet now, partner. Let's get it. You know what I mean?
You wanted it, you got it. Now you got to fight the fire, man.
That's it. Ooh, boy.
But yeah, I would tell junior non-commissioned officers, look, find the one that helps you to. I don't want to say helps you the most, but inspires you the most.
Yeah.
And that was something that yourself and other seniors in the battery is. We had read the book, the 3 Meter Zone, talking about what tools to put in your toolbox. Everybody's got a tool you can use, and everybody's got a tool you can't use.
That's right.
You know.
Remember we had to read that book and do book reports out.
Man.
Ooh. And
Oh.
if you ain't do that book report with first on, ooh.
Oh
Man, I forgot about that one, man. Oh my God.
I still got that dang book.
Yeah, I forgot about that. The 3 meter target, boy. Damn. Ooh, that brings back memories. Cause I remember I was going. I had a 4-day mission. I came up with, I think we went to Scania or something like that.
Ooh.
And I forgot the book. And we came back, I think that we came back like 4 days later. And every week we had to do a book, like every week we had to do notes on it, you know what I mean, and give it to him, and he would read over it. Yeah. And he would tell you if it's shit or not, man. So I forgot all about it. Well, plus we was getting our ass handed to us out there. And I came back and he tore my ass. Well, he didn't tear my ass, but he just was like, "Hey, what's up? Like you slacking?" And I'm like, "Well, the first time I was out there, he's like, that. So you got some time?" I'm in my head. I'm like, "Man, we in a war, bro. Like, I mean, like, yo, you know." Hey, you gotta have your brain, man. You gotta get your brain on. You gotta be proactive, Reed. I'm like, damn. I feel like shit, you know what I mean? Because I didn't. I forgot all about that one, man.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about that one.
Good times, man. Good times.
And I know you talked about the soldier transition out. So now, as far as again, the differences between the soldiers and non-commissioned officers now. compared to the soldiers and non-commissioned officers back when you was actually in, as far as like maybe 10 years ago? Like, what do you see? Is there any changes that you see that is a positive change, or is it a negative change in a negative way?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I see 10 years ago, I seen a whole lot of young NCOs had that the eager to get from E5, E6, E7 on up, but what didn't want to slow down and take the time, as it was taught to me.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to slow down and take the time to learn not only the job trade, but to learn the soldiers that they supervised at the same time.
Yeah.
And with everything that happened for the invasion of Iraq, the invasion of Afghanistan, in some ways it was culture shocks to a lot of people, because all we knew was training on the home front.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the different training came about. So now, things are trying to de-escalate and slow down with things going on in the world. I would say to junior non-commissioned officers, take the time to really get to know your soldiers. If you sit down every 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week, and ask that soldier how he's doing, how his family's doing, this, that, and the other, you don't even have to get deep into his personal information. That builds respect with your soldier.
Yep. And the thing is, they will talk to you. You know what I mean? They will talk to you. And this is something, again, I was a hard working first arm, but I would say they a great first arm because I had a great battery. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we all work together, right? I was just the spokesperson, you know what I mean? But the battery, and it was proactive and it was great. But there was one thing I did was that every formation, every morning, I had them for an hour. You know what I mean? That's just PT, hour and a half. And you guys were going out to the field in like 110, 111 degrees outside, in Forest Hill. And then sometimes it'd be minus 20 with the windshield, which minus 25, and it's freezing out there. But they would shoot every day, 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery, big deuce. And the thing was, and we had to do PT. It's still every day had to do PT. So they come back in from the field like 10, 11 o'clock at night. The next morning, 6:06, then PT, And but the thing is, I used to go to every one. I said, man, I need to know. I need to understand. Number one, I never been in a unit like that because we go, BCTs. We go to the field. We come out, we reset. And then like a week or two, then we go like start training again and do whatever. But this battery, this battalion was they constantly every day they're out there every day, and I'm like, oh my god, these poor bastards, like you know what I mean, and I every single chance I had the opportunity to go out there, I go out there, but then I'm getting called for me, and all this and that, right? But every day in formation at 06, when it was my time, the first arm's time, my time, doing PT with them, in PT formation, I'll call the PT instructor up, salute him, and I'm walking up and down the formation, looking at every one of them soldiers in the eyes.
Yes.
And talking. If I see a soldier that's down, I kind of sense it, and I'm like, just ask them a couple of questions. And a lot of times, as time went on, after a week, a month or two, these soldiers would tell me, hey, first arm, can I talk to you in the office? You know what I mean? And then they will come in, or if I see them extremely exhausted, I'm like, hey, Smoke, I need such and such to stay back today. You know what I mean? Right. And my platoon sergeant will be like, hey, but first arm, I need him. No, you don't need him. If you didn't train the other person to step up,
yes,
that's not my fault. That's your fault. You see what I'm saying? You have ample time to train them. So, and that helped bring the motivation because I believe the soldiers trusted me. You know what I mean? Trusted my platoon sergeant. They trusted us and the battery commander. And gave them that little take a knee. It's okay to take a knee. You know what I mean? It's okay. And I was just trying to figure out ideas, which was difficult at first, right? Trying to figure out certain ways to get these guys some time. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and as time went on, I was like, hey man, when you come back from the shoot, it could be 1 o'clock, it could be 11 o'clock in the morning. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. I'll take the hit for it, which I did. My battalion commander was like, where's your battery? I sent them home. But what do you mean? They got this? No, they did it. You know what I mean? And so I was always trying to figure out ideas to basically enhance the motivation, because I seen these guys were getting every day constant. It's a toll on your body. Wearing that flak vest, IBA, ACH, every day in the rain, in the snow, in the cold, I say, nah, it's gotta give, you know. So every couple of months, I would just kind of just give like a just overlook at all the guys, look at all of them.
Right.
And if we had like a week or two off, like not shooting, hey, I need these guys out of here. Like for real. They let them go home with their families, soldier family issues and all kinds of stuff. Hey, let them get out of here. Get them out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, soldier, when's the last time you had lunch with your wife? They look at me like, and they look at the platoon. First, they look at the section chief, then look at the platoon sergeant. Like, should I answer this? Or, you know, I'm talking to you. Not your chief, not your platoon. So I'm talking to you. When's the last time you had lunch with your wife? You know, or when's the last time you called your mom? When's the last time you spoke to your parents? You know what I mean? And that shows that, you know, you love them, you know, you care for them, because you do. They're the future. They're the future of the United States. They're the future. They're our future protectors. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that will help them motivate. That help motivate them, and then basically enhance them, because that's what they want to work. They want to come in. They want to do these things. You know what I mean? And the whole thing is learn your soldier.
Yes.
Understand your soldier. Find out what his dislikes are. Find out what his likes are, his or her likes are. You know what I mean? And then as time goes on, they will be successful. And guess what? By them being successful, you're successful.
You're successful. Yes. Yes. And that's a trend that's really not taught. To me, I hadn't seen it in a long time. It's not taught that way.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of batteries down here that if first sergeant's not successful, the battery's not successful. But no, man, it's the other way around. Soldiers are successful. The top successful. You know, the battery commander is successful.
Yep.
All because of what that private actions are doing.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
But I think it's going to turn around.
Yep.
Honest to God. If things slow down around the world, I think it's going to go back to the time at, you know, first time training. First thing that happened is that your harnesses were instructed to make sure all the straps were rolled up, everything was subdued. You didn't look all crazy when you put your uniform on.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of got away from that. It's all because of so many rapid deployments that went on the past several years. You know, by the time you took one deployment, you're back, and there was no reset rule, as they called it. You know, you come back, you're in the field, you're shooting, you're training, and when that's
91 days, 91st day.
Yes.
You remember that when we came back from the 2007 deployment, 91st day, we're at the M16 range.
Yes.
90 days here, had it out. 91st day, we're at the M16 range. And here we go again. You know?
Yes.
Ooh, man, I remember that, boy. Man, PT test. URM, weapons squad, man, it was just like, here we go again. We about to ramp up again.
Yep.
I remember, man.
And didn't you hear the unit? What was 177 was next to us.
Yeah.
They tell me, hey, y'all got any extra bodies? We're short people. We need some help. We're like, we just got back.
Yep, need to deploy.
But it didn't matter then, you know.
Everybody started raising their hand. I go. You know what I mean? And let's go. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. So Hargrove, is there anything at all that you would like to tell America? You know, on anything that you want to talk about, man? Anything that's on your mind that basically that you know that you want to let it out?
there's a lot of bad vibes in the news today about things that go on with our military. Yes, the military has some bad apples who make mistakes, either deliberate or not. You know, you're gonna have them everywhere.
Yeah. Every organization is a great organization. There's people in the organization that makes it difficult. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Yep.
And if I was right now talking to America as a whole, is to try to work on putting your trust back into what our jobs were, their jobs are today. The people we train, me and you train, what their jobs are today.
Yeah.
You know, because they're strong. It's just that it's a different way of training has to be conducted now that not everybody sees. You know, not everybody sees. Not the standard civilian doesn't see the training meeting where you've got to backwards plan 3 months, 6 months, and a year. You know, to get that one day's mission successful.
Yep.
And everybody, you know, nowadays wants to know exactly what everybody's doing in the Army or the Marine Corps, you know, or the Air Force, whichever one. Just because you don't see it with your own eyes don't mean it's not happening.
Yeah.
You know, because there's great leaders out there, and you're going to have some leaders who kind of fell by the wayside, or, you know, always, you know. But, and then to the younger soldiers nowadays, NCOs, 98% of the NCOs got where they're at today from experience, or their NCO snatching them up, taking control over them, putting them under the wing and teaching them. You know, I guess I'm blessed. I never had an NCO lead me down the wrong road on purpose. I never had one to try to set me up for failure on purpose. You know, as much as I tried to blame things on them, but I didn't. And I'd like for the young soldiers nowadays to understand that their leader is not going to, you know, set them up for failure on purpose.
Yeah.
That's what I would really like to get out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. You know, and again, man, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure sitting there talking to you, man. You know, I know we haven't spoken in a minute, you know, because, you know, I know you was up there in New Mexico doing your thing. And there was no daggone phone service up in the mountains up there, you know. But I'm glad you're back now, man. And, you know, at the end of the day, this is like a little video call, but I'm gonna probably be coming down to El Paso really soon, because what we plan on doing is traveling, me and the team traveling per a state every month, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, every month, and basically just have conversations like this. This is what it is. This is what it's about. It's you in your home relaxing, we having a drink, you know, drinking coffee or whatever it may be, and just talking, just venting, you know, just letting it all out in the open. It's therapeutic. It's therapeutic.
oh yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
the Apex 07 is about, man. To show the world, right? Show society, one, what we've been through, right? Two, what we're dealing with. Okay. And three, we're human. You know,
Oh, yeah.
at one point in time we were Titans. You know,
Oh yes.
yeah,
Oh yes.
less than 1% of America can join the United States military. I say less than 1% of America is qualified to join the United States military. But I go back and say, how many of that 1%, less than 1%, could retire, walk out the door, retire?
That's a low number. It's a low number.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the number. I really don't. So that's what makes you relevant, bro. You are a Titan. You see what I'm saying? And continue to be that Titan. Now be that Titan with your family. And, you know, them soldiers, you got the soldiers to take care of themselves. They handling business right now. They're protecting America. You know what I mean? Now it's time to be with your family, man. The ones that you sacrifice from being behind. And you got us. You got us.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
You know,
Heck yeah.
you know, so, you know, again, man, it was a pleasure talking to you, brother. And you know, I'm gonna probably come down there and see you face to face real soon. You know, maybe you can take me up to that mountain, man. I'd love to come up that. Well, I don't know about going. I ain't sleeping outside no more, bro.
We got a new RV, man. It's it's a rolling house. Ain't no outside on the tent on front of Humvee no more.
Yeah. Hey, you got some moonshine up there?
I'm pretty sure I got some. If I don't, I know where to get it.
I come up there and drink some moonshine with you down there, man. So because I know Hargrove, he got his remedies, bro. I remember all the remedies you used to have too, man. But again, America, man.
I always have my ways, man. I always have my ways.
Yeah, I know. But again, man, it was a pleasure talking to you, bro. And again, America, this is the Apex 07 show. We're gonna continue pushing on. We're gonna continue pushing on. Every month, you're gonna see me on this video or on YouTube. I'd like you to subscribe. Just press that button, that thumbs up. You know what I mean? Subscribe, and you'll get it every month. And go into my YouTube. You got my Instagram. You got my Facebook, and I'm now on TikTok. So if you can get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me. One of those things. My phone number's on there. My email is on there. My website is on there. And, again, give me that thumbs up. You know what I mean? And, so we can subscribe. We're going to keep it moving. Again, this is the Apex 07 show. I'm your host, Mark A. Back in effect. We'll stay in effect and we'll always be in effect. And so are you. All right. This is the Apex 07 show. Peace.
9 weeks later, the basic shit done. And then 5 weeks later, I'm in unit 1 like you son of a what? This body boy done earned him a gun. Make you think about home and who all lost their life to a gun. Shit.